So basically, the Eport is a digital tool for monitoring the training of residents of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Now, in this training, we'll be looking at an overview of the Eport application, looking at the platforms upon which the application can be accessed, and looking at what the Eport means for our residents. And then we'll delve into how to input our rotations, procedures, CPDs, and how to request our assessments. Then we'll also look at the reporting capabilities of the Eport application, and then address some issues around security and then availability and the benefits of the application. Then finally, we'll go through the practical aspect of how to use the Eport app. All right, so basically for the Eport, the app connects the training sites with the trainers and then the trainees to the college. So you have the Eport app in the middle here, then we have our training sites. And our trainers are within the training sites, same as our residents. Then we have the college. So in the middle is the Eport app that connects all these segments onto a single platform. Now, the Eport application can be accessed on Android, iOS, via web application, as well as a USSD platform. So what this means is that if you have a Google or Android phone, you can download it from the Play Store. If you use an iPhone, you can download the app on the App Store. And if you want to access the application on your computer or your laptop or your tablet, you can access it via a web application. The link is on the college platform. When you get onto the college platform, there's a bookmark button there that when you click on it, it gets you onto the web platform. There's also a USSD code, but only for the trainers to do approvals on the rotations, CPDs, and assessments that are submitted by residents. Now, what does the Eport application mean for our residents or our trainees? Now, basically, the residents to gain access to the Eport application, you first of all need to be set up by the college. So this is to ensure that only authorized users gain access to the application. So imagine that we have the app on the App Store or the Play Store that anybody can just download it and then register. That will not be really good. So for you to gain access to the Eport application, first of all, we'll have to set you up on the platform, and then you receive a username and a password via SMS, which will be sent to you via SMS. And then you can then use that username and password to gain access to the application. Now, so it means that if you don't have your username and password, it means that you cannot gain access to the application. Now, basically, the college has the phone numbers of all residents. So all the residents that are registered onto the Eport application should receive an SMS with their username. The username for residents is usually your resident ID, and then a password as well. So that is the first thing to do if you want to gain access to the Eport app, to make sure that you have your username and a password, and then you should be able to gain access to them. So when you have your username and password, then the second thing is on which of the platforms are you going to use the application. If you are an Android user, that means that you should be heading to the Play Store to download the app from the Play Store. If you're an iPhone user, you should download it from the App Store. Or if you want to use it on your web application, then you should head on to the college website, and then you should click on the Eport app link to get onto the web application. Now, so after downloading the Eport application as a resident, now all residents, the trainers, so let me, even though this training is not for the trainers, but it is important I mention it as well. So all your trainers, so these are your consultants or your unit heads, have been enlisted onto the Eport application. So they all have accounts on the Eport application. Now, in case you, as we'll be seeing very soon, in case you download the app and then you try submitting a procedure or a rotation and you do not find the name of your trainer, which will be either your unit head or your consultant onto the application, then there's a functionality in the app that will enable you to send their names to the college for the college to add them onto the Eport application. So if your supervisor or your trainer is not on the Eport application as at now, there shouldn't be any cause for concern. All you need to do is to just click on the suggest trainer functionality of the app and then submit their names and phone numbers, and then the college will just do a small background check, and if it checks out, they'll be added onto the application. So now, the first thing you have to do when you download the Eport application is to submit your rotation plan. So this means that if you are on rotation in a particular training site, which is a hospital, you have to log on to the application and then select the head of the unit of the training of the unit that you are, and then fill out the rotation form and then submit the rotation. Now, after submitting your rotation, your unit head will receive an SMS alert or an in-app alert, alerting them that you've submitted your rotation onto the Eport application. Now, when they receive the alert, they will log on to the application. They'll log on with the application with their username and password. Now, for our trainers, their usernames are usually their phone numbers. Okay, and the password is a system-generated one which they receive by SMS. So after the trainer receives that username and password, he will log on to the application, and if there is any pending rotation request for him to approve, they will see it on the Eport application. Now, after they've taken an action on the rotation, you receive a prompt. You receive an alert that whether they've approved it or they've not approved it. You receive a confirmation message depending on whichever action they take on the application. Now, after submitting your rotation, like I mentioned, the very first thing you have to do is to submit your rotation. So the rotation will tell the college which training site or hospital you are currently undertaking your rotation. Then from there, you can then submit your procedures. So the first thing you need to do is to submit rotations, and then you can then submit procedures or requests for your assessment or CPDs. Now, for procedures, when you log on to the Eport application, all your procedures, depending on the faculty that you are within the college, whether it is surgery or any of the faculties, your procedures that you are supposed to undertake during your period of training are all enlisted onto the application. So when you log on to the application, if you are doing membership, you will see all the required procedures for membership on the Eport application. And all you have to do is to click on the procedure that you are undertaking or search for it. And if you find it, you fill out the procedure form. And then after that, you submit it. Now, in submitting the procedure, you will need to select the trainer who supervised the procedure, right? Or any trainer within your units that can attest to the fact that you performed that procedure at that specific point in time. So you select them and submit it to them. Now, when you submit it, same thing we saw for the rotation, they will receive an SMS alert or an in-app alert. They'll look at the form what you've submitted, and if they are okay, if it checks out, they will put in an approval. And then after they put in an approval, you will then be alerted. You will then be alerted as to the action they've taken on your procedure that you've submitted. So it's a two-way thing. First, you submit, you log onto the Eport application, you select the trainer, you fill out the procedure form, and then it moves on to your trainer, who then looks at the form and then takes an action, whether it is an approval or not. Then after that, you receive an alert as to the action they've taken on your submitted procedure. The next thing that residents do on the Eport application is CPDs. And when you log on to the Eport application, you will be able to fill out the CPDs that you undertake during your period of training. So same process for the rotations or the procedures, but in the case of CPDs, you do not need approval from any trainer or any head of unit at the training site. So CPDs are straightforward. You log on to the application, you fill out the CPD form, and then you submit it, and it is automatically approved. It does not go for approval from anyone. The system automatically approves all CPDs. Then the next thing you can do as a resident of the Eport application is assessments. So during your period of training, you are required to, your trainers are supposed to put in an assessment for you, either quarterly or depending on the schedule that you have with them, they are supposed to fill out an assessment form on your behalf. Now, for you to get yourself assessed by your trainers or your unit heads, what you have to do is log on to the Eport and then select the trainer at the training site that you are, and then request for your assessment. So it's just a button click. You will just send a request to your trainer. And then like the same thing we saw for the rotations and the procedures, all they have to do is to log on to the application. And then if they have any pending assessment requests from you, they view the form and then they can fill it out. They can fill out the assessment form, and then you receive an SMS alert when they are done with the assessment. Now, what are the reporting capabilities of the Eport application? Now, because this is an online solution that links all training sites, whether callable cards or all the training sites in Ghana, and it connects them with the trainers or consultants and then the residents. The college has access to every activity in real time. So as soon as you submit a procedure or a rotation or a CPD, the college has access to the dates and time that you submitted the action. The college also has access to all your information. It has access to the trainer that you submitted the action to. And when the trainer logs onto the application, when they take an action on the procedure, the college also sees that they've taken an action on your procedure. So basically, the college is able to monitor everything that is happening. So with this data, we can run rotation reports by trainee, by training sites, by trainer. We can run CPD reports by these different users. The college has access to, so in case like, assuming you are supposed to perform, let's say 10 or 50 rotations, or let's say procedures within your period of training. And then let's say for the first month, you've done like 10, the college has access to it and will know that, okay, you are keeping, you are on track with your training, or if you are lagging behind, the college also has access to that data. Now, in terms of security and availability, the application is hosted in the cloud on Azure and is SSL encrypted with 2FA. So it means that we are very secure. The uptime is also very good, 99.9%. So in as much as possible, the application, we hope that the application will be available to you at any time that you need to have access to it. Then finally, what are the key benefits of the Eport application? The very first benefit is we have auditable logbooks. It means that logbooks can be audited. They are not paper forms that are very difficult to audit. It is very easy because everything is logged. The college can easily audit logbooks. We also have real-time reports, real-time actionable reports on every resident and every trainer. It's also accessible because everybody can access it on his phone, his tablet, or his computer. And these three culminate in improving our training at the college. Okay, so basically, this will be an overview of the Eport application. So this is, like I was saying, this is the dashboard of the Eport application in case you log in. The first thing is the question mark at the top here that takes you to the help section. Okay, so there are various guides, FAQs, and you can click on this message as and takes you directly into your, if you have to have WhatsApp installed or WhatsApp web on your computer, and this will enable you to send a message directly to the help center for help. So back to the dashboard. Now, the first thing, when you log on, you see your active rotation here. It will be red, meaning that you do not have.
We have name tags. We have name tags. So that they all the, okay, they wear the aprons. We have
okay, so you have access to your rotations here. If you do not have any active rotation, this will be red, telling you that you need to start a new rotation. Now, what you need to do is to click on the rotation and then click on Start New Rotation, right? Now, when you click on Start New Rotation, the system will enable you to fill out a rotation request, a rotation form. Now, the system will open up this form that you have to first select the training sites. So there are various training sites on the application. And there's a slight delay between my phone and then the screen. So all the training sites are listed on the application. All you have to do is to select the training sites. Then you type out the units that you are performing the rotation at. Then you proceed to select the trainer. Now, all the trainers at the training sites have been enlisted onto the application. So depending on the training site that you selected, you see various trainers. Their names will appear on the platform. So you can just select their name. So if assuming I want to send this rotation request to Dr. Baba Adams, I'll just select Dr. Baba Adams. And then I'm supposed to input my select, or let's say select my start date. So the starting date of the rotation, and then the expected completion time. So when I click on the start date, it enables me to select a start date. So as long as it's today, 31st. And then the last one is to select the expected completion date, right? So I can just assume it is April of 2023. I'll just select that and click OK, and then it is selected. Now, when I'm done selecting, filling out the form, and then let's see, let me just enter surgery. So when I'm done filling out this form, I click on Save, and then it is submitted to the trainer that I selected. So the trainer that I selected will receive this form on their phone. They will first of all receive an SMS alert, and then they can log on to the application, and then they'll approve. They'll either approve this or not approve this. Now, in case they approve this, you receive an SMS alert that your rotation request has been approved. Now, when your rotation request has been approved, this place changes from red to green, telling you the current training site that you are undertaking your rotation. Now, if this is green, it means that you can proceed and start entering your procedures, your CPDs, and requesting for your assessments. Now, assuming that we click on this place, the active rotation, and then we try selecting a trainer, and we realize that the trainer is not on the Eport application, the next thing we need to do is to come back to the dashboard and then click on the Suggest Trainer button. So down here, we have Suggest Trainer. Now, when you click on this Suggest Trainer, what it will ask you to do is to suggest a new trainer. So basically, we expect you to fill out the first name, last name, phone number, the training sites, as well as the faculty is automatically selected depending on the faculty that the resident is at. So after filling out this form, when you submit it, the college will receive this and then do a small background check. And then if it checks out, this trainer that you suggested will become available on the app that anyone can select. Now, because it's a test and I have all the trainers that I want to use on the application, I'll proceed to start inputting the procedures that I'll start inputting the procedures. So I'll click on procedures here. And then when I click on procedure, like I mentioned, all membership procedures that are supposed to be undertaken within a specific faculty are all listed onto the application. So you see the name of the procedure, and then below that is the expected number of them you are supposed to undertake during your training. So if you are supposed to undertake, let's say, the 35 clinical skills, the number 35 indicates the expected number you are supposed to input on the Eport app during the period of your training. So, so I'll just select the very first one. And then the next thing, if you have any that you've logged previously, they'll all appear here. If there is none, you see this information, no log cases yet for this procedure. Now, how do we input a new one? We will have to click on this add case button with the one with the plus. So we click on add case. Now, when we click on add case, you see an instruction here on how to go about this. Basically, you are supposed to fill out the form. So the first thing you need to do is, what role did you play? You are supposed to select the role that you played in the procedure. All the roles are listed here. And you can select any of them. Then after that, you are supposed to select the trainer that supervises the procedure. So you click on the trainer, and the training site is automatically selected depending on the rotation that you are currently on. So if the rotation is at Reach Hospital, you will see all the trainers at Reach Hospital on the application. Then after that, all the trainers at Reach Hospital that are within your faculty will appear on the application. Then if the procedure requires a patient information, you are supposed to just input the patient's initials. Let's say IK. You are not supposed to enter the full name of the patient. Then the initials are okay. And then if you have a hospital ID, you can just input it there. Then after that, you select the gender and then the age. Then you are supposed to input. So there are some procedures that require additional information. So if it requires additional information, you are just supposed to fill it out here. And then when you are done filling this form in its entirety, you click on save. Now, when you click on save, it is sent to the trainer that you selected. So the trainer receives an alert on his phone, and then they can log on to the application and either approve it or not approve it. Now, in case the trainer approves it, you will receive an SMS alert as well as an in-app alert. In case they do not approve it, you will also be alerted as to the action that they took. Now, so that is for procedures. The next thing is CPDs. So I'll click on CPDs. So it says CPDs down here. I'll just click on it. Now, when I click on CPDs, it's a tab. So it's a tab that you can scroll. You can scroll across horizontally. So you can scroll across it horizontally. So in case you want to view the seminars that you entered into the application, you just need to scroll horizontally to the seminars or evidence-based medicine. Now, how do we add a new CPD? What we need to do is to click on this plus button that is below the screen here. And when we click on the plus button, we see the various categories of CPDs that we can input on the application, whether it is a workshop, a seminar, evidence-based medicine, or revision course. So I'll just select the very first one, which is workshop. Now, when I select the workshop, the system asks me for the date of the CPD. The system asks me for the date for the CPD, as well as the name of the topic, and then whether it has been organized, whether it's being organized by the faculty or not. So if it is faculty, I select faculty, and it enables me to select the faculty. After selecting the faculty, it asks me for the mode of delivery, which can either be in person or online. So if it is online, I select the online. Then the next one is the description. So I'm supposed to input a description of the CPD. Then after that, I save it. Now, unlike our procedures and then our rotation, CPDs do not go for approval. You can see that we did not select any trainer here when we were filling out the CPD form. So CPDs do not go for approval. They are automatically approved by the system, right? But this does not mean that you can fill out any information at all within the CPD. There should be CPDs that you've actually undertaken, right? So even though they do not go for approval, this is a record during your training that the college has access to, and these are periodically reviewed. So it should be CPD that you've actually undertaken. They are the ones that should be entered onto the Eport application. Now, in case we've entered our procedures, our rotations, our CPDs, the next thing we can also do is to request for assessments. Now, to request for assessment, we will click on the assessments button just below the screen here. We click on assessments. Now, when we click on assessment, the system will do some small check, and if it's okay, this comes up, and then you can, if you have any requested assessment, they all pop up here. If not, you can request for a new assessment by clicking on the plus button at the top. So we click on request your assessment, and then that loads, and the only information that is asked here is the trainer's name. So the trainer who is going to assess you, or if it is a committee, the head of the committee should be selected. So you have to select the trainer's name at the top here. So you just select the hospital, and then all the trainers come up, and then when you are okay, you just click on save. Now, after clicking on save, the selected trainer will receive an alert, and then when they log on to the application, they will see the request that is pending. And when they see the request and then they click on the request, they will see a form. A form will come on their screen. It's just a selectable form, and it has various inputs that they need to enter based on the assessments. So they just need to fill out the form and then submit it. When they submit it, you receive a feedback as to the total score for the assessment. The assessment is over a score of 5, so it's from 1 to 5. So we just compute the average of each of the items, and then we show you the average on the application. Now, anything you do, like I said, anything you do on the Eport application is logged. The college has access to it, and even your trainers also have access to it. So if you ever send a request to a trainer, from that point onwards, the trainer will be able to view your activities within the application. So it's just a way for the trainer to keep track of your activities, of all that you are doing within the training sites on right within their application. And I already mentioned about the help section. So let me go back to the help section. So at the help section, we have the guides, FAQs, and then the message ask button. So let me just click on the guide. The guide has various prompts. It has various prompts in there as to how you can set rotations, how to log CPD. So if you ever need help on any of the buttons or any of the actions within the application, the first thing you usually have to do is to go into the help section, go into the guide, and see whether there is some information about that. If there's no information about that, then you can just click on the message ask button and send a message directly to the help section for assistance. So basically, this is all about the Eport mobile app.
So let me state that with the Eports, you will need your resident ID and the password. So when you are entering the resident ID, you enter your full resident ID without the slash. You can also reset your password as well on the app. So if you've forgotten your password, you can as well reset the password.